Hi, everybody. Welcome to Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Steph Zamorano and Rob Placone. Howdy, howdy. Oh, look, they're drinking out of the mugs.
I'm sorry.
Howdy. There it
Mugs.
is.
Oh, look at Steph's T-shirt, though. That's what I really
Oh,
like.
this one, Jimmy?
Yes.
Somebody said I was the Vanna White. I think I'm the Vanna Brown.
Yeah, I like it. Vanna
I'll
Brown.
bring it back.
Okay, so you can get all the stuff, all our merchandise. It's our store. And there's a link. If you go down there, there's a link there for our store at Spreadshirt. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the show. Guess what's happening? Bernie Sanders introduced his Medicare for All bill. And it's super popular. Everybody's coming around. It started off with nobody on board. Now he's got like 9 presidential hopefuls in the Democratic Party's on board. Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, that tool, Cory Booker, even knows to pretend he's on board. They all are pretending that they're on board for Medicare for All because they know everyone wants it. And why can't we have nice things like the rest of the world? Everybody's on board except, I don't know if you saw this.
Yes.
They're not on board. These MFers aren't on board. Dave Anthony, friend of the show, tweeted out, they're too dumb to even know to fucking lie about it. Lie. Say you're for it. It's not coming up for a vote. The Republicans own the Senate, the House, and the... Why wouldn't you just lie like the Democrats in California? Now, in California, the Democrats have a supermajority. And they all ran on single payer, too. Anthony Rendon, who's the Speaker of the House, or who's the House, what do they call it? The Assembly Speaker in California. He's the leader of the Democrats in the Assembly. He said he was for single payer even before Obamacare was ever talked about. He was for it. It's funny, now he's in a leadership position and he doesn't have a bill to present. He doesn't have a plan to how to institute that thing he said he was for over 10 years.
Well, it's not his fault, Jimmy. See, there were problems with the bill that he didn't read.
That he didn't read. And that what right. So again, why don't they just do what Anthony Rendon did? Why don't they just say, yeah, of course I'm for it. And then when the bill comes up, if it has a chance to pass, you find a way to torpedo it. That's
There's
just
something
how
wrong with this bill. What's wrong with the bill? I'll have to
the funding,
look at it.
the fund. You can say whatever. No one ever asks a goddamn follow-up question. Say the funding's not right, or it leaves out too many people, or the costs are. You can say whatever you want. They don't even know to fucking pretend to be for it. There's no cost to be for it.
You mean a part of their better deal wasn't a better health care plan?
No, it was lower costs. So here's what they say, right? This is what Nancy Pelosi said. Right now, I'm protecting the Affordable Care Act, Pelosi told a group of reporters in the Capitol. Right now, I'm protecting the Affordable Care Act. You're protecting the Affordable Care Act. That's a right-wing health care plan written up by the Heritage Foundation that leaves out 28 million people and has no cost controls. That's what you're defending? That's what you're defending. Why don't you defend a bowl of shit also? That's what you're defending? Well, right now we're defending this thing. We couldn't possibly defend something or push for something that's way better, that's an actual solution to the problem. Why? Because we're fucking shitty Democrats and we're totally controlled by our corporations.
Yeah, when I first read that quote of her, right now I'm protecting the Affordable Care Act, I just pictured her in front of an insurance building, like as everyone watching, like, your life matters. I got you. Don't worry.
Democrats believe that health care is a right for all, and there are many different bills out there, Schumer echoed a few hours later. So again, I'm willing to stand up with vague assertions. I'm willing to give you platitudes, but when you come up to a specific plan, I can't be for it. That's what Democrats are supposed to do. The tepid response highlights the dilemma facing the top Democrats who are hoping to energize the party faithful without alienating the more conservative-leaning voters that flocked to President Trump last year. You think that conservatives, poor people, poor white working class people don't want single-payer health care? Is that what you think? So this is a bullshit talking point that corporate donors tell the Democrats to say to people. That, oh, we'd like to be for these more progressive positions, but, we won't win our election. They've been losing elections by being centrists for going on how long now? They're wiped out. They lost 1,000 seats. They're out of power in the White House, Senate, and the House. They're wiped out. But let's keep doing what we always do. That's how you get back. You become less like a progressive. That's not the idea. That's the backwards idea. And you want proof? You think that single payer is scary to Trump voters? You think that the poor white working class voters who you lost since Reagan, you think that those people are afraid of single payer? Well, here's Bernie Sanders in West frickin' Virginia talking to those people, and watch what happens.
What do you think? Do you think we should join other countries and guarantee health care as a right of all?
Yeah, I think every American citizen should have health care.
That's actually...
Room full of frickin' Trump voters in West Virginia applauding when he says, what do you think? You think we should have the same health care as the rest of the world? Yes, I do. I think it's a right. Everyone should have. Yes, they know. They know their mother has it. They know their grandparents have it. They know Canada has it. They know UK has it. They know Germany, France, Italy, Russia. They know these places have it. And you don't have to go broke or bankrupt when you get sick. You don't have to choose between rent, food, or medicine for your kids. They know it. You know who doesn't fucking know it? The people who keep voting for Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They're the ones who are too stupid to know it. You know who knows it? They know it. That's why they voted for Trump. Trump promised them a universal health care that would cover everyone, nobody left out. He lied. But he said it. And that got him the vote. Trump campaigned on that. Are you out of your mind? Everybody's going to be covered and the government's going to pay for it. That's what Trump said when he ran. And now the corporate Democrats are gaslighting you by saying, I'd like to be for, but I'm afraid we're going to lose elections because of it. Here's Bernie Sanders at that same town hall.
You worked in the mines yourself, huh?
Yes, I'm a retired UNWA miner, and I never dreamed that I'd get to thank you personally myself for the bill that you have co-sponsored and how the Senate Bill 175, the Miners Protection Act, which I'm one of those miners that will lose. I'm one of those miners that will lose his health care at the end of April if they don't pass that law. And we looked at to have the funds that we worked for that were promised to us taken care of. That's all we asked. And I think it's kind of ironic that a senator from the Northeast
Yes.
takes care of my benefits better than someone like Mitch McConnell.
So when these goddamn corporate sellout cretin Democrats try to gaslight their own supporters and keep health care from them because they are in bed with their donors, you show them this video. You show them those videos that I just played right now. And then you tell them this. Because they're lying sacks of it. And you know it, and I know it. And you know that Chuck Schumer's a piece of it. You know that he's a lying bought and paid for. And so is Nancy Pelosi. Those people are cretins. They are willing to keep health care away from sick, poor people in their own goddamn country for fucking money. That's what they're doing. It isn't about they're worried about they're going to lose an election. Did you see this? If Nancy Pelosi was worried about Democrats losing elections, she would quit being the leader of the party. That's why people lose. Democrats lose because they tie them to Nancy Pelosi. So they're not on board for health care. They're not on board for Medicare for all, Nancy and Chuck. Both of them are liberal lawmakers who have supported single payer in the past. But as minority leaders fighting to win back power, they're also charged with crafting campaign messages that resonates with the centrist voters. They'll need to pick up.
Really? We need more centrists?
What the fuck do you think Hillary Clinton's campaign was? She literally went after these people. She didn't go after the working white class. She went after Trump voters. She was a centrist. Do you think those people that Bernie Sanders was just talking to are centrists? Or do you think they're economic populists? I'm sorry, Ron.
Well, let's not forget Chuck Schumer's brilliant prediction on the campaign trail. We're going to get those moderates in Pennsylvania and Ohio and Michigan and Illinois. Hey, 1 out of 4, 25%. That's a winning grade, right, Steph? That's pretty. You knocked it out of the park with a 25%,
What's
right?
the idea that somehow working white-class people don't want frickin' Medicare for all? Of course they do. What is this idea?
And, I get that they're also in charge of crafting a campaign, right? But isn't a part of that campaign single payer?
Yes.
You don't think you would pick up some centrist votes with single
Well, why
payer?
do you think all the goddamn Democratic people who want to be president are on board for it? And here's what I love. They've supported single payer in the past, but not now. And here is what Zinab Day says. He says, you support an ideal, but you're going to vote against that ideal? I think that creates a little bit of an inconsistency. I would say, to say the least, that's a little bit of an inconsistency. Pelosi, Schumer, Democrats spent more than a year ushering the Affordable Care Act through Congress, and they spent the past 7 years defending it from the torrent of attacks from conservatives. The debate took a political toll on the party.
Oh, brother.
As the Democrats lost 63 House seats and the Speaker's gavel just months after the law was enacted. You know why? Because it's a right-wing health care plan, you dummies. And you know why? Because you guys are horrible politicians. You don't know how to frickin' You're blaming the Affordable Care Act on losing? You know why? Because there's no public option in it. Because it was a goddamn right-wing health care plan to begin with, and people know it. People know there's no cost controls. People know that. People know it leaves out 28 million people. That's why.
They put the bill out there. They let Republicans completely gut all of the better things about it, like the public option,
to
like
get Republican votes.
To get Republican votes. And then when all those things made it even more, made it worse, and not everyone was happy, they blamed the Democrats, and it worked. I mean, it was the worst political strategy ever.
And it worked.
And, out of all these 8 years, it was great to know that the GOP was able to develop their own health care plan.
You're right.
Which was nothing.
Which is nothing.
That's what they want to give Americans. They want to give you absolutely nothing.
So believe me, we're defending the corporate giveaway. That's what Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are saying. We're busy defending the corporate giveaway for our donors. There are things in the ACA that aren't working well as they should, said Representative Steny Hoyer of Maryland. The Democratic whip told reporters Tuesday the first objective that both Leader Pelosi and I have is to preserve the ACA and to adopt policies that will make it work better. That's our first priority.
Okay, I think the policy is right in front of them. I think that's what is being co-sponsored right now. So, that's the new thing that people want.
So our first priority is not serving our people and to lose the next election. That's our first priority. Our first priority is to stay horrible. Our first priority is to stay a corporate Democrat who doesn't know his asshole from a hole in the ground and gets beat by a fucking orange clown game show host. That's our first priority. Our first priority is to keep serving our donors and not our voters. That's our first priority, and you wonder why. You wonder why you lost to an orange clown. You wonder why? These guys are worse than worthless. They're actually anti their own party. These guys are coming up with strategies on to lose, not to win.
It seems that
they're professional goddamn losers. These people are professional goddamn losers. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and the rest of the goddamn corporate Democrats are professional goddamn losers. And I think people know now that the Democrats would rather lose to a Republican than let a progressive win. That's not a crazy idea to people anymore because they see it happening over and over and over.
Well, it just seems all by design now. At this point, they've infiltrated the Democratic Party to lose to bad ideas more and more. And they're okay with it because she said, what was it, a month ago? I think that American people want more of the same.
She said that. She goes, I don't think people want to change. They don't want to change in direction. People, look at that thing. People don't want, people want their values. People are, when we unite our, that's what she said. So... there you go. The Democrats' plan for losing is just as clear as it's ever been. Deny people stuff that the rest of the world has and tell them it's because you're afraid that Trump voters won't vote for you. Hey, everybody, we have 2 live Jimmy Dore shows in September. September 25th, we're in San Diego, and September 18th in Burbank, California. Get your tickets right there. There's a link right there.